going on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those joints, X, you name it. You know the gambit. Whole bunch of them out there. Can't keep track these days. Anyways, Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense, and I'm back to do just that. Now, if you are just checking out the show for the first time, please let me know. Let me know that you somehow came across my channel. Now, let me see something here. I'm trying to refresh so that I can see if, okay, wait, there we go. All right, I want to see what y'all seeing. I want to see if you guys are able to chat. Now, I see some people over there chatting. There it is. Now we're talking. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Somebody said, howdy, Kevin. Hey, Don, what's happening? Yeah, my man Dallas in the house. We got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. So, can y'all hear me? Just let me know. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, then we can go ahead and get this party started. Let's get this party started right. So, I'm assuming y'all can. And, I done collected all kind of mess around here. It's all in the way, all that crap. All right, so now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get busy, okay? Let me get loose, okay? Because, I rock the planet. Beat my chest. Like a silverback. Beat my chest like a silverback. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some keys in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. Now, hit that like button before we even get started, and share my videos. And also, don't forget, I got a Kevin's Corner store if you want to buy some merch. Now, that number right there you see, 330-974-4607, is the number you can text MAGA to. So just in case they try to unexist me on the internets, we'll know how to stay in touch, and I can reach out to y'all and let y'all know that I'm still in the house. You know what? I'm going to have to put together a silverback emoji. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And if you want to donate to the channel, you sure can. There's links below the video to do that. And I want to also specially thank people who send me wonderful things through the mail. I get all types of props, as you can see. And some people send me wonderful checks, and they know who they are. I want to thank them so much for their sacrifice. Now, with that being said, we got to go ahead and revisit something Nasty Pelosi said a couple weeks ago. It might have been even this week, earlier in this week. Yeah. Now, we all know and love Nasty Pelosi for the wrong reasons. But Nasty Pelosi said some things about Joe Biden. And I thought about it as I ran across this little montage. Everything Joe Biden has done or hasn't done is also a representation of Kamala Harris. She's a part of that administration. She's the one trying to make herself over. Yeah, she's the one that's trying to allow the fake news to give her a makeover. And I want to just visit some of the wonderful, wonderful things that happened under the Biden-Harris administration, according to Nasty Pelosi. So let's see what she got to say again. I just want to remind everybody, yeah.
She mentioned his many accomplishments, including his forceful leadership of the NATO summit with other Western heads of state.
So he was in a good place to make whatever decision, the top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States.
What?
Much a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States.
Yep. Bag of bones, mush mouth, monkey paw hands, Nasty Pelosi actually said that. Now, she was on the hook because she first started off asking Nasty, did you do something nasty to Biden? I mean, what made him quit? Word on the street is you muscled him with that monkey paw. And she wanted to get off that. She wanted to shift it from her being responsible for the coup to her praising him. But she went too big. She went way over the top. Yeah, she had to compensate for what she did to creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe. So what did she do? Straight to the top. Mount Rushmore. Well, let's see if he deserved. We want to go ahead and reminisce about some of his wonderful works.
get professional help.
Yeah, she needs it.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I found it funny,
Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's
Teddy
wonderful.
Roosevelt.
I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
And now a short summary of the United States of America under Biden's leadership.
Yes.
Watch me.
Yeah, because see, all of these people who now are being wooed by, this campaign push for Kamala Harris, maybe they forgot. Maybe they forgot the handiwork of the Biden-Harris administration. And we got to remind them, because see, humans got short-term memories, and that's the problem. They'll forget that just a few months ago, that everybody thought she was the worst VP ever. They thought she was the worst. They thought she was a VP for nothing. I mean, and if you ask most of the Biden voters, or should I say now, the Kamala chameleon voters, what has she done? They don't know. So I'm going to remind them what she's done. Her and her buddy, Creepy Sleepy, this is what they've done.
Feeling the squeeze as inflation in the U.S. reaches a new 40-year high.
Data from the Labor Department shows consumer prices rose 9.1% from a year ago, the fastest pace since 1981.
This morning, it's the news drivers nationwide have been dreading. The average price for a gallon of gas has now hit $5, according to AAA, the most expensive in history.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They're willing to pay that just so they can say, we didn't vote for Orange Man Bad, who got the lowest gas prices down to like 170 something at some point. But we didn't vote for him, though. Yeah, we went ahead and voted for the woman of color and the crazy, kooky, weird, woke dude. Yeah, that's what they're going to be able to say as they pay these type of prices. Because both of these two, they don't want fracking. They don't want us to be number one in, resources and selling resources. They don't want that. They want to get rid of all of that fossil fuels. Yeah, now she might lie to us. She might lie to us and say, no. That was back then. I said that back then, when I thought it might be popular. Now that it's unpopular and I want to get elected and I want to win over the Midwest, I got to go ahead and change that up because I'm a chameleon. So I want folks to realize and remember what the Biden administration brought to us. Mm-hmm.
It's totally insane.
The challenge that we have as an administration is we got to let people know who brung it to them.
Oh, no. We know who brought it to us, but see, some forget. We don't. We got memories like elephants. Yeah, the conservatives got memories like orcas. But unfortunately, we got a lot of bubbleheads walking around the country who forget. All it takes is the media to wave the magic wand in front of their face and say, these are not the people who destroyed your America that you know and love. And they'll go, okay, then we should go ahead and vote for them. These are not the people who flooded your neighborhoods with illegal immigrants. No, these aren't the people who caused all of this chaos in our country. So I got to remind them.
That's our challenge.
We do have a lot of news to get to this morning, starting with that chaos following the horrific attack outside the Kabul airport. This is now the deadliest attack on U.S. forces in Afghanistan in more than a decade.
To the 13 American service members killed, another 18 were injured. Tonight, they are in the process of being evacuated from the country on C-17 aircraft with special surgical units.
Biden did that. Yeah, Biden did that. And remember, he tried to blame that on Trump. Trump was going to do it anyway. I just had to do it. Because Trump said, now he done destroyed all of Trump's other policies. He didn't recognize all of the other things that Trump had the ball rolling on. He didn't do that. But for some reason, he makes this asinine decision to just pull us out in a whim. Just completely chaotic. And then, of course, I had to do it. Trump started it and there was a deadline I had to meet. And I'm thinking, okay, now remember, guys, Chameleon Kamala Harris said that she was the last one in the room. Last one in the room with the man who aren't making decisions for the country because he's mentally compromised. And don't forget, she's the one that sat there all this time knowing he was in decline and lying to us. Coming out to everybody talking about the president is sharp. He's as sharp as a tack. He's in command. Yeah, she was sitting in that room and she didn't say, Joe, don't you think that's a little chaotic? Maybe we should go ahead and put some things in place before we just pull out. Maybe we should at least contact our allies and let them know we're leaving. No. Okay, Joe. Okay. Yeah. They'll just find out as our helicopters and stuff is flying out. And we left it all. We left all that stuff for the Taliban to come in. They came out lying to us all. Don't worry about it. We secured all those weapons. We disabled all of those Humvees and those helicopters. We did disable them, right? No, okay, so we did. Like how? We just turned the key off? Well, where are the keys? They're inside the visor. Anyway, we're hoping that they don't look in the visor. Look, they left keys for us. Oh, yes, this is very good, very good. As they were parading around in our Humvees and our tanks. And then they said, well, don't worry about it. They can't fly the Black Hawks. They can't do what? Oh, what is that? Oh, my God, they're flying the Black Hawks. That happened. Folks was jumping on the plane, falling off the plane. And then, of course, 13 of our service members was killed because of that raggedy dismount. And look what Joe did. There you go. Got somewhere to be. Got to poop and pee. I don't want to do it in my suit. So, yeah, that was his MO the whole time. And that's just one. That's just one clip of him checking his watch. All of the parents of those soldiers that passed away, they said they sat there and watched this dude do it multiple times. And he never reached out to talk to him. Maybe if they were George Floyd, he would be calling them up, going to their neighborhood, taking a knee, stuff like that. Maybe if they was one of those guys. Yeah, the real heroes of the Democrat Party. You know, the convicted criminals, the real ones, not the made up ones like Trump, but the convicted criminals that, you know, abused women and robbed a pregnant woman with gunpoint. That guy, he's their hero. Thank you, George Kirby, for your sacrifice. Look at that bum.
Staggering new record, more migrants crossed into the U.S. on Monday than any other day in history.
Well, look at that. Camellia should be proud of her work. She broke a record. As the borders are, she broke a record.
And now Texas is being sued after giving state law enforcement sweeping new powers to arrest them.
Today, 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in Jordan when a drone packed with explosives struck a shelter where troops were sleeping. Was
that happening under Trump? Anybody remember? None of that was happening under Trump because he sent out the message. Any one of our folks get killed, I'm going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. In fact, there's a rumor that he said in a meeting with, I forget who it was, what country, might have been Iran or somewhere like that. But he let them know that if you guys act a fool, we're going to go ahead and blow up everybody. And he showed them a couple locations on his phone, just set it down and walked off. And it was like, okay, we get the picture. Yeah. So that's under Trump, but under Biden, everybody's wilding out. Isn't that crazy?
More than 30 U.S. troops were also wounded, according to 2 U.S. officials, including several who were medevaced out because of the severity of their injuries.
Oh, and don't forget this. Our fearless leader.
For the first time in history, the U.S. national debt just surpassed $35 trillion.
Wow.
The bipartisan Peter G.
They broke all kind of records. Chameleon and Creepy was getting busy destroying the country in every way possible. And Nancy Pelosi wants his face up on Mount Rushmore. And the Democrats are sticking his partner out to everybody and saying, no. Forget all of this. Forget the fact that she had a hand in this and she played a part in this. Forget that. Forget the fact that she was a part of this administration. They're trying to distance her from this administration so far. But nah, man, I'm here to remind folks, she still technically is a part of the administration that's operating right now. I wonder what she's doing instead of just going around traveling and or talking and doing stuff like that. I mean, is she like balancing it out? Is she balanced? Because Creepy ain't doing nothing. We ain't heard nothing from him. I'm wondering if the man is still alive. So you would think, though, if she wants folks to look at some of the things she's done in a positive manner, you would think she would pop into the White House here and there and try to clean up some of this. Nope. I have no idea what she does every day besides go out and read the teleprompter and stay away from reporters.
G. Peterson Foundation says the U.S. pays about $2 billion a day in interest payments.
Our message to everybody struggling right now is this.
What?
Help is on the way.
Where? Did the help ever come? No? Okay. All right. So help is on the way.
I really
funny,
love
isn't it?
Venn diagrams. You know, the circles, right?
Circles,
All right, you know that sound? It is time to talk a little bit about consumer news. Tough news for people hoping to buy a house. The cost has hit a record high. The National Association of Realtors says today the median cost of a home in the U.S. $419,000.
Yay! Won't that be great? Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that right there. That right there. He deserves his face on Mount Rushmore. There you go. For all of this wonderful stuff he's done.
Mortgage rates are also relatively high, and economists don't think the rate will fall below 6% anytime soon.
And Americans are taking on more debt, $17.5 trillion overall. $1.13 trillion of that is a record amount, and it's on credit cards.
Look at all these records they set together. Yep. And I'm fascinated by the dummies that can't recognize this chaos and are willing to vote for these idiots again. Fascinated by it. Got into a brief skirmish online. My old buddy who I spar with constantly over this stuff, he reached out again on Facebook. You know, he put his little emoji up there with Kamala Harris's face, and I'm going, you gotta be kidding me. You know what? I told him to grow up hair. Nothing worse than a man that's a Kamala Harris voter. Ugh, almost vomited in my mouth. I'm like, I can't believe you played football. Where's that mentality? I want that guy back. Dang on it. You up here, I'm a Kamala Harris man. Ugh. And it ain't because she's a woman, but she is just a nasty woman. She's a witch. Yeah, doesn't respect men. It's horrible. She's just absolutely horrible. And she's fake. And I'm thinking, you got duped by her? I mean, you're that focused on color. And you're that plagued with Trump derangement syndrome that you would just give your testes away to vote for her? Good grief. Man up. I mean, you compare her to Trump, and I'm saying, this is a man. I told him, I had to tell him, man, don't you see all the brothers leaving the Democrat Party? They don't like men. They don't favor men. They don't promote men. They don't celebrate men. They discourage men. Did you see Chameleon's husband talking about toxic masculinity? He wasn't talking about himself, though. See, he has estrogen. I guess he has estrogen. All the other men, and I'm sure what he's referring to is all conservative men. Well, I'll take that. That is not a insult. That's a compliment. Yeah. If you say that we have toxic masculinity, I always say the only people who thinks masculinity is toxic is men who hate being men or women who hate men. And yet we got people over there voting for this party. Men that is over there voting for this party. I'm going, boy, they're going to make you pee sitting down after a while. That's what they're going to do. This is a new mandate. All men must sit down on the toilet when they urinate. Okay, we're sick of wiping off the seats. And that's in law. That's a law. I want you to snitch on your neighbors if you find out that a man stood up when peeing. Unbelievable. I tell you, I can't figure it out.
Out of 5 parents are increasingly paying their adult children's bills with their own
I'm sure they're happy about
savings.
That's Bidenomics.
It sure is.
As car payments become more expensive than ever, tonight, 1 in 6 buyers who finance new are paying more than $1,000 a month. A staggering price to sit behind the wheel, rivaling the cost of putting a roof over your head.
Yeah. And Kamala and Biden brought that to us. See, I don't want people to forget. Yeah, even though the media is trying to sweep all of this under the rug.
Biden-Harris administration. Masterclass in terms of performance.
And a new report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York finds people of all ages are in more debt than ever. And 30-year-olds are experiencing the biggest leap in years. The average millennial now carrying an average credit card balance of $6,750 as they put more of their everyday expenses on credit cards.
Oh, and don't forget that. Yeah, that's the guy they want on Mount Rushmore. I can never unsee that. Every time I would look up at that fake behind Mount Rushmore construction, I would think of this guy falling down. I mean, I don't think the people would tolerate that. If they put his face up there, I'm pretty sure somebody would go up there with a sickle or something and start tearing it down.
Wait! There's more!
All right, back to our breaking news right now. We are looking at what's taking place down in Wall Street. The Dow Jones is down about 1,010 points. It's about 2.5%. We've been watching this all morning. The plummet is fueling fears of recession amid a global market meltdown. Tech stocks are driving this nosedive, I should say, as investors are selling off all of those equities, as well as crypto and oil stocks, also contributing to the drop. Friday's disappointing jobs report and unchanged Fed interest rate.
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president.
Well, let's see how that would look.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Spit that mess out.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
And they want that face on Mount Rushmore? Yeah. Oh.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
There you go. Now that's a face that needs to be on Mount Rushmore. I wish they could carve Trump throwing his fist up like that right into Mount Rushmore. That would be wonderful. Wonderful. But yet, Nasty Pelosi thinks the creepy Sleepy's face should be up on there. Interesting thought. But yeah, a little misguided. In fact, it's a lie. It's crazy that she even thinks that. After all of that destruction, those two left behind. So now, the Dems are planning something if Trump wins. Did y'all know they got a backup plan? Kamala Harris isn't just the last resort. All right, her and the weird woke man, they're not the last resort. Poodle up top is talking about another coup. And I'm thinking, wow. I mean, you know, they just accused Trump of like subverting our democracy and all of that stuff. So let's see what he's up to. Yeah.
Never before in American history had a president called.
Oh, now that's the poodle I know and love. Y'all remember when he had the full poodle on top of his head? That's what I'm talking about. The poodle was in effect. So there it is. Ratskin is up here talking about the insurrection and stuff.
Called for a crowd to come contest the counting of electoral votes by Congress, or engaged in any effort designed to influence, delay, or obstruct the joint session of Congress in doing its work required by our Constitution in the Electoral Count Act.
I'm a little concerned about Poodle's accusation. I didn't know that it was against the law to call for people to come and protest, because the Democrats call for people to come and protest all the time. And they don't even mention peacefully. They don't mention peacefully. They kind of, you know, it's implied that, hey, do whatever y'all got to do. You understand that? You're radical. You're mad. Okay, tear it up. But Trump didn't tell these people to go inside the Capitol. He told them to walk over to the Capitol steps and let your voices peacefully be heard. Is there something wrong with that? But nonetheless, he feels something was wrong with that. You can't contest an election. However, look at this.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified because they violated Florida's prohibition against
an insurrectionist. That's what that guy is. He's contesting an election. That's what he's doing. Yeah. And he's doing it with a full poodle on top of the head right there. Yeah, the poodle right there was trying to run away. But let's go ahead and see what he's up to now.
Dual office holder.
Debate is out of order. What can be put into the Constitution?
Look at this footage. This right here is the updated poodle that's been wet. All right, so now you got the wet poodle on top of his head. But listen what he says that they're prepared to do if Trump wins, just in case Chameleon Harris don't defeat him or they can't cheat him. So look what he's prepared to do.
Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, you know, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified.
Do y'all hear this dude right here? It's going to be up to us, 2025, to tell what did he call us? What did he call us? Let me see what he called us.
The rampaging Trump mobs.
The rampaging Trump mobs. So now, let me understand what Wet Poodle up top is saying. This man is saying that Trump legitimately wins the election. He gets all the votes, and the Democrats just decide, we're just not going to certify the election. Now, I would think that's an insurrection. And this guy right here got the nerve to just be like, and all of these voters, so what? I mean, it's going to have to be mad. Yeah. So here we are coming to celebrate our win. We're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We won, baby. And then all of a sudden, these corrupt, stinking communists sit up in there talking about well, we feel he committed an insurrection. Therefore, we refuse to certify this election. Now, I'm wondering, what would happen if they did that? You think the media will come out and say this is an insurrection? We've never seen anything like this, and all of that. These men and women are subverting our democracy. This is an attack on our systems. Look what this guy goes on to say after this, because he knows that this would cause chaos. All right, so they try to kill him. They try to go ahead and commit him to jail. They trying to make him be an insurrectionist, and they're trying to say he's a traitor. They try to label him as a spy for Russia. All of these things, and now the end game is we just won't certify the election. So what? What y'all gonna do? And to let us know how serious he is, look what he says.
That he's disqualified, and then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have...
we need bodyguards for everybody. Civil War conditions. He's willing to allow the country to go into civil war, which most likely that would happen if these fools have the audacity to say, even though Trump won, after all y'all put him through, and he overcame it, he beat all of that, y'all installed Kamala Chameleon Harris, slid her in, knowing she didn't win 1 vote and she still lost. And now what we're going to do is say we ain't doing it. Now what? So what? Now what? I wonder what happened. Honestly, when I saw this video, I was thinking, how would that be rectified? Who would make the decision after that? If these folks just literally said we ain't doing it, do we go to war? I mean, that's worth going to war over. I'm gonna be honest. Because see, at that point, I would feel like, okay, they brought this all the way on themselves. We won, and they're not certifying the election. Now, either you certify this mess or you prepare to let the country be torn in half. And this guy's okay with that. He's like, oh, we're going to need bodyguards. You're going to need a lot of bodyguards if this happens. See, so these folks are willing to risk it all to stop Trump. Now, I'm wondering if this footage right here is going to come under scrutiny. I'm wondering if the fake news are going to bring this dude in and say, we heard, we got hold to some video where you say y'all are going to refuse to certify the election and therefore be prepared for a civil war. Be prepared for that. That's how dangerous Trump is to these nasty, stinking, globalist Marxist power. And honestly, at that point, if they did that, I mean, that's the last thing in the world I would ever want to see. Last thing in the world I'd want to see. But that would be one step too far. Because I know if we were to do something like that, if Republicans were to do something like that, even though I feel that last election, we had a legitimate reason to say, nah, we ain't doing this. All of the shenanigans that went on in all of them voting areas. Yeah, we had a legitimate reason to contest that election. But yet they went ahead and certified that garbage anyway, just to keep the peace. But you think Democrats will play by those rules? These folks have shown us they're willing to go to every extreme to stop Trump. They have no limits. Their back is up against the wall, and they would do anything, including tear the whole country in half, which they already are doing through all of their rhetoric and propaganda. But that's what he's prepared to do.
Not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job. And
so he's attacking the Supreme Court. He don't want to honor the court. But hey, Judge Algaron and all of them other crazy folks like that. Yeah, they're like, yo, you can't question them. You can't question the courts. These judges are legit. But the Supreme Court, yeah, they're radicalized. They've been compromised by MAGA, ultra MAGA, and stuff like that. So we don't have to listen to them anymore. Yeah, we're a law unto ourselves. These folks are the real threat to democracy. That's what they are. They're a real threat to our republic. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, they need to go. They need to either be kicked out or voted out, but we got too many dummies in our country. Too many dummies in our country to see that this right here is really the insurrection. It's unreal.
Interpret what the Great 14th Amendment means, and I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring them
and you to listen to something that you told me in August.
We've been saying all along that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment presents a clear and unequivocal statement that anyone...
That man needs to take that American do-rag off of his head. This dude does not represent America. Getting up there talking about, we ain't gonna certify the election just because we feel he committed an insurrection. Yeah, according to us.
One who has sworn an oath of office, and by the way, not just a president, but members of Congress and others who hold federal office, who engage in insurrection or rebellion, having sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic, can never serve again in federal or state office. Donald Trump is disqualified.
So, Congressman, now that you've read the Supreme Court decision, which effectively says that they don't agree with that argument, what's your response?
Well, the court didn't exactly disagree with it.
Yeah, we don't care. That's my response. We don't care. We're Democrats. We're Marxists. We want to control every single part of America, all the institutions. And we don't like the fact that the Supreme Court is not controlled by us. So therefore, we're just going to ignore their ruling. Yeah, we don't really believe in democracy. We don't do that. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and make my own reasoning to their ruling and get caught on a video saying, yo, we just won't certify the election.
They just said that they're not the ones to figure it out. It's not going to be a matter for judicial resolution under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, but it's up to Congress to enforce it. I disagree with that interpretation just because the other parts of
just because it hurts us as raggedy Democrats and it allows Trump to continue running for president and probably will beat our butts and eventually bring the hammer down on us. See, these folks, man. So let me get this straight. They disenfranchised 13 million of their own voters, but they're too dumb to see it by just installing Kamala Harris. But then they're willing to go ahead and disenfranchise all the millions and millions and millions of folks that would vote for Trump and he wins. And they would just say, so what to the people? We think he doesn't deserve to be president. All of them would need a foot up their butt if they did something like that. Because if we did break out into a civil war, you think they're going to be out there on the front line fighting that? They would sit back like, let it burn. Long as I'm protected, long as I'm in a bunker somewhere, let the country burn. Because if we can't have it, nobody can. That's what they would do.
The 14th Amendment are self-executing. People can go to court and say that something violates equal protection, even if there's not a federal statute that allows them to do that. But in any event, the Supreme Court punted and said it's up to Congress to act. And so I am working with a number of my colleagues, including Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Eric Swalwell, to revive legislation that we had to set up a process by which we could determine that someone who committed insurrection.
Someone who committed insurrection. Now, do you understand how much grace God has given our country? I mean, think about this. If we would have lost the House, they would have passed this mess. We already lost the Senate. The House, keeping the House is the only thing that is blocking garbage like this from taking place. Man, God help us if we would have lost the House. And this election is extremely important that we win the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And we got to do it in big numbers. We cannot have small margins that will block us getting real legislation passed and real change to the country. I mean, this dude right here, if they would have had the House, he would have went ahead and said, all right, we are passing a law that Congress right now has come up with out of the, it's kind of like that whole J6 committee. And they was just doing whatever they wanted to do. They would come up with some garbage and say, according to us in the House, we feel that Trump committed an insurrection, even though he wasn't charged with insurrection and nobody else was charged with insurrection. And we just remanufactured this term so we can bludgeon Trump with it. Yeah, even though all of that, we're going to go ahead and just say, according to us, he was an insurrectionist. So therefore, he's not allowed to run for president. Thank God that he didn't give power back to these people in the House.
Is disqualified by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And the House of Representatives already impeached Donald Trump for participating in insurrection.
Did they convict him? Was he not acquitted? See, hey, donkey head, you forget that? You forget that he was acquitted? And that was a stupid impeachment? How are you going to commit an insurrection against yourself when you're still the president? You would have thought that he would have taken advantage of the last few weeks in office to stop it all. Yeah, just go ahead and start a war, or perhaps bring in the military to surround the White House and say, look, I'm not leaving. Secret Service, y'all got my back. But instead, I guess he subliminally let all of these folks armed with MAGA hats and cell phones to go and launch this great insurrection. Yeah, no evidence, no communication, no nothing. But according to this dude, that he already committed an insurrection.
Citing it. So the House has already pronounced upon that, and there was also a 57-43 vote in the Senate. The question is whether Speaker Mike Johnson would allow us to bring this to the floor of the House.
Thank God he won't. I mean, do you realize the evil inside of these people? They know that this was not an insurrection. They know they concoctioned all this. Nancy Pelosi know that she made sure there was no security to stop which she really wanted to happen, her and Mayor Bowser. They know that they had folks posted up inside of the Capitol waiting for all the folks to walk over there. Remember the guy that was dressed like a Trump supporter that was posted up in there looking up at the command post talking about the door. Get the door. I wonder who hit that button and opened that door. That's what I wonder. I wonder how did those Trump supporters get inside before the rally ended? These are questions I'm wondering if we'll ever get to the bottom of. But hey, maybe if we were in the House and the Senate, we can get to the bottom of it. But anyway, let's get back to Woke and Woker. Listen to this guy. Wokeist.
I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
Now y'all hear Tim Conway? Y'all see open stadium up top talking reckless, talking about something I gotta tell you, I can't wait till I'm debating that guy. Now he's talking about JD Vance. Okay, he's talking crazy. And listen what he says about him. I don't think he really knows what he's getting into. Look at him. Yeah. I got the people cheering and all that stuff with Chameleon in the background. Yeah, he's talking reckless. I can't wait to get my hands on JD. Do he really want that?
That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up.
Oh, well, look at that. Yeah, see what I did there? Zinger, huh? Yeah. I told a big fat lie. That's what I did. I got up there because I know I'm talking to an audience of dummies who don't realize that whole narrative about JD Vance and a couch was a lie. Full-blown lie. But of course, he gets up there and he's saying it, and he's not saying it as, hey, I'm just joking, that never happened. No, this man is tarnishing JD Vance's reputation because he's leaving it in the minds of all of these dummies that's going to walk away and say, JD Vance is, he's a weird, some kind of freak. He's messing around with his own couch. Did you hear that? So that this way it could add validity to this whole narrative they're trying to sell, which is they're weird. But we're going to find out who's really weird. Okay, who's weird? Been doing wrong. So this guy right here talks about JD Vance and some couch, which is a lie, but it's okay because he's a Democrat. Now, if a Republican joked or not said something about any one of them, They would be fact checked. God, it's obvious that Trump's lying. This didn't take place. It never happened. This is once again one of his 100 million lies. But they don't care about this. They just let him slander JD Vance's name and try to label him as a weirdo. But I think, based on JD Vance and how he's been operating, I don't think this guy really wants that, especially after some of the latest information has rolled out about this woke weird dude right here. Look at him. You think he...
This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy.
Uh-oh. Now, I don't think he want a piece of JD. You know that man's IQ is extremely high. Yeah. This guy right here knows stuff. He's not out there saying, I want to debate him and if he could get off the couch. Now, this man is getting to the nitty gritty. So after all the slurs and stuff, and after all of the little comments and snarky remarks and stuff die down, this is what this guy's going to have to defend. See, this is the real substance right here. What else did he do, JD?
Instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does. I think it's interesting, actually. They make an interesting tag team because, of course, Tim Walz allowed rioters to burn down Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, and then the few who got caught, Kamala Harris helped bail them out of jail.
Well, kiss my grits. You telling me those two is a tag team when it comes to crime? They're the dynamic duo of crime? Wow. I mean, these are going to be tough things to debate JD on. That's what it's going to be. I want to hear him come in there talking about, okay, well, I tell you what, you're weird. And the whole couch thing is pretty much all I got. So now what? Oh, you want to know why I allow kids to have tampons for little boys in the bathroom? Because I'm weird? That's pretty much all I got for you. There are going to be so many things that JD Vance brings up that this guy's going to have to defend if they debate on national TV, that anybody with common sense in the Midwest is going to get a chance to hear. What? You mean to tell me he signed legislation that will protect kids that want to get some type of procedure done and would leave their own state against their parents' knowledge and will? And they would go ahead and give them sanctuary in their city against their parents' will? You telling me, how's he going to defend that? How's he going to defend that? What? You mean to tell me this the same dude that locked his whole state down and made kids wear masks for no reason? No backing of the science and all that stuff. And then had the nerve to set up a snitch line? I didn't know he did that. This dude's radical. He's worse than Chameleon. Makes me feel uncomfortable. What else, JD?
So it is more instructive for what it says about Kamala Harris, that she doesn't care about the border, she doesn't care about crime, she doesn't care about American energy, and most importantly, she doesn't care about the Americans who have been made to suffer under those policies.
Now look at that. JD Vance is out there taking questions from reporters. Where's the weird woke guy? Where's woke and woker? Woke and wokist? Where are they? Oh, they're just running around making cameos and talking trash without a response, right? Without somebody returning fire, without somebody asking questions, but they just want to get little punchlines in there, things like that. So this guy's out here taking questions and responding and calling them out. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. What else you got to say about them, JD?
Well, it's not what I believe. It's what the Democratic leadership has said. Many people said repeatedly that the reason Kamala Harris was going away from the Josh Shapiro selection is because they were worried about anti-Semitism. They were worried about certain voters. They were worried about some of the leaders and the grassroots activists in their party wouldn't take a Jewish nominee. I think it's despicable. I think it's disgusting. But that is right out of the words of many members of the Democratic leadership. And
what? So the weird woke dude really wasn't the first pick? He wasn't the first pick? Yeah, he was the backup. They was like, all right, shoot. All right, the guy that probably could have gave us a chance at winning Pennsylvania. It's because we spent so much time radicalizing all of our voters, kind of married ourselves to the radical left. We're going to have to sacrifice Pennsylvania. What? Yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice. In fact, let's go ahead and pick a radical extremist. A dude that's okay with saying things like, you know what, socialism is okay. Things like that. Let's pick that guy to balance out how woke Kamala is to balance it out. You know, she's pretty woke. You would think they would have picked a guy who at least could pretend that he wasn't as woke as she is. But what did they do? Went heavy on the wokeness. They went over there and said, you know what, that's not woke enough. We need some more wokeness on that. Okay? We can't have it even. We can't have it even. Can we stack some more wokeness on this? Now, I'm also wondering what's going to happen when this guy gets up here and he asks him about his stolen valor. The guy who was talking about the couch joke and all of that stuff. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen when JD throws his record out there and this guy got to come out and defend why he was running around claiming that he had a rank that he didn't have and that he was over and saw some combat. I wonder how he's going to say it, because remember guys, just a minute ago, we heard him say, I can't wait. I can't wait to debate him. Now, what kills me is I'm thinking, you knew you was about to get picked. You should have scrubbed that. You didn't think that would come up. You ain't in the little leagues no more, man. You thought that you can be spreading all of those lies about your valor and it wouldn't come back up. But now it's here. Interesting. And I hear there's a lot of military folks who's upset with this guy. Let's continue hearing from a real vice president.
So now we have Tim Walz, but again, most importantly, we have Kamala Harris. Her policies have been a disaster, and they will remain so if the American people give her promotion.
Senator,
Wait, he's not running? He's not running he's not turning and walking away like Chameleon Harris and Joe Biden does all the time? Oh, he's standing in there right now, taking the fire?
Governor Walz reached out to one another. I know when you're going to debate, you guys have reached out.
I actually, on the way to the flight in Cincinnati, or I guess in Northern Kentucky, I actually called Tim Walz. I left a voicemail. I didn't get him. But I just said, look, congratulations. Look forward to a robust conversation and enjoy the ride. And maybe he'll call me back. Maybe he won't.
You think the Democrats would do that? You think they would show that type of respect? Nah. And I doubt it if that coward who ran from war is going to call JD back. He might be scared that the call is going to be recorded and they get into a little debate. Yeah, he don't want that type of action. Yeah, they better keep this dude hidden just like they're keeping Kamala hidden. I think both of these folks are going to get exposed very soon, in spite of all of the hoopla going around.
Senator, the Governor and Vice President Harris are expected to take a battleground state tour over the next couple of days. Former President Trump won't be making a public campaign appearance until Friday in Montana. Is that a missed opportunity?
No, look, I think I'm making a number of public appearances over the next few days just to drive home the fact that Kamala Harris's policy has been such a failure for normal Americans. I know the president's very...
Now, see, JD Vance seems like a VP that you can trust to go out on their own and not misrepresent you, not embarrass you. See, this right here looks like a good team, a good setup, based on how he's handling these questions right here. I don't know if they could release the weird woke dude out there on his own right now to represent Chameleon. They might just ask the weird woke dude a question about the current administration. Now, do you also support the decisions that the administration made when it comes down to Afghanistan? What? They told me y'all wouldn't ask me stuff. They told me I can just go out there and throw out snarky remarks and comments and accusations about JD Vance without anybody questioning me. Yeah, it was in the job description. Just get out there, be woke, and throw out insults to JD Vance, and you're good, because the media will handle the rest.
Very busy over the next few days. One of the things you got to do is, of course, get out there and speak to people and speak to reporters.
Did you hear that? Somebody send that. Somebody send that massage to Harris and the weird woke guy. I don't care how you send it. Courier pigeon, it don't matter. Telegram, send that message to them. You gotta get out there and talk to the people. But you can't do that. Yeah, they don't even want to know. They don't even want to let the people know what their policies are. There you go. They want as little knowledge about these two characters as possible. That's why they don't want them to talk in front of a camera. They don't want them to express what we really feel. They want folks wondering what their position would be on Israel and Palestine. They want folks wondering what their position would be on an open border versus an actual closed border. They want folks to just wonder. They don't really want to take a stance because they're Democrats and they're chameleons. They wait to see which way the wind is blowing. And in the meanwhile, the media would just go ahead and shower them with love and accolations.
The thing you have to do, of course, is raise the resources, and I know the president's very busy doing exactly that. So he and I are taking a divide and conquer strategy to this campaign. Sometimes we obviously do events together, but I think we're going to use the fact that we have two people who can both get out there and execute a message. We're going to hit the road, but I really want to make just one final observation. I know most of you. I like all of you as people, or at least I like the ones of you that I know. I think that you guys have got to do a better job at actually forcing Kamala Harris to answer questions. This is a person who's been the presumptive Democrat nominee for 16 days.
16 days. Been gone 17 days. 17 long nights. That chick is in the wind. So now she's been installed as the front runner for over 17 days now, 16 days. And she still hasn't said nothing. Oh, but she did go off script, I think it was yesterday, yelling at a couple of their wonderful protesters that was in there talking about some stopping free Palestine or something. And now she done ticked off all the people in Michigan and ticked them off. So, yeah, interesting. But let's continue.
She hasn't taken a single real question from a reporter. The American people...
Somebody said stolen nominee and valor. You right about that. Both of them are a fraud. That's ridiculous. Stolen nominee and stolen valor. I mean, you could just put that on a billboard right there. Right there. But anyway, they know they're both illegit.
People deserve to get to know the people who want to lead them. And I think it's shameful for Kamala Harris, but increasingly for the media, that she's taking a basement strategy of running from reporters instead of getting in front of them, answering tough questions about her record, and letting the American people know who she is. President Trump and I take hostile questions. We take non-hostile questions. We get out there and talk to people because we respect the American people enough to want to persuade them and not to try to run from them. So I think you guys got to do a better job. That's
good luck, because you know that's not going to happen. Yeah. After we saw that montage of them praising this new guy, I thought he's great, he's fluffy, he's look, he's handsome, he's cuddly, he's kind of like a Santa Claus. He's like Santa Claus, it just makes me want to pinch him. He's happy and he's safe. He's safe. He's very safe. He's absolutely not radical. He's definitely not far left. He's the opposite of far left. He's not weird. He's not weird. He's anti-weird, actually. I mean, he's probably the most normal person that I've ever met. What else they tell us to say? What else? Okay. All right. Okay now. All right, I forgot that. Yeah, they went out there and they praised this guy. So they're not going to ask any type of questions. Yeah, we got some questions of our own. Where are they?
My humble opinion.
Do you think it was a little risky, though, Van, that she didn't go with Shapiro to kind of lock down Pennsylvania? I mean, yes, David Challenger was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
It would have helped a little bit. But they were afraid of their radical, pro-Hamas base. That's what happens when you allow all of these radical Marxists and angry folks that hate the country to, one, be a part of your party. Two, you don't check them. And three, all of the radical folks running around the country that normally vote for Democrats, you've made them feel entitled. You've taught them how to get their will across by tearing up stuff, by yelling, interrupting stuff. Yeah, you taught them. Y'all created that base. Yeah, that's your people. So now what you got to do is really discriminate against the Jewish guy that would probably been a better pick. But no, we can't do that. See, we got to appease the side of our base that hate Jews. There you go. And they got the nerve to be talking about some Trump's anti-Semitic, even though he has a Jewish son-in-law and his children are Jewish and his daughter converted to Judaism, and the Jews love him over there in Israel, and they named a street after him. But other than that, he's anti-Semitic. But yet they went with this guy instead of Josh Shapiro.
Hey, listen, the conservatives, the right wing, the Republicans, they were chewing their fingernails down to the knuckle because they were afraid of a Josh Shapiro. They were afraid of a Mark Kelly.
No, he would have been better than this bum. But no, we weren't chewing our...
They're not as afraid of this new governor because they think they can define him. So here's the challenge you got in this party.
What's the challenge?
And people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
Talk about it.
On the one hand, you have a lot of young people who are concerned about Gaza. You have a lot of Muslims and Arabs and others. They had not felt seen by the Biden administration.
No. It's not that they haven't felt seen. They want their way. And there is no compromise with these people. They are radical. It's either their way or the highway. Y'all taught them. That's how it got to be, man. It's either our way or the highway. We will tear it all down if we don't get our way. So don't be talking about that. They haven't been seen. No, trust me, Creepy saw them. Trust me, Chameleon Harris saw them. Trust me, all of the Democrat Party saw them. And that's why they start easing off their support and trying to balance and juggle, their support for Palestine and Israel. Yeah, so don't be talking about they haven't been seen. No, they're just radical and they want their way, period.
You start hearing that genocide joke. That was building. And so those folks needed to have a candidate that they could feel comfortable with. This helps it in that regard. But you also have anti-Semitism that's gotten marbled into this party. You can be for the Palestinians without being an anti-Jewish bigot, but there are some anti-Jewish bigots out there. And
that's the problem. Their radical base doesn't have any room for somebody who's saying, hey, look, I want to see Palestine have their own, stuff. I don't want to see these folks killed, innocent folks. I don't want to see that. But I'll also support Israel. Well, then you're a genocide supporter. You know what? You're imperial. You're supporting imperialism and all of that stuff. They don't have middle grounds. That's the problem when you get radicals. When you get folks that's so far left and they all are feeling like, we're victims and we're entitled. We can shut down streets. We can interrupt programs. We can get in the middle of college campuses and shut that sucker down. Because guess what? Y'all have taught us that the law doesn't matter. As long as we get our will across, as long as we feel like, we're victims and we're supporting injustice, we can go ahead and hate on Jews. We can go ahead and interrupt classes. We can do anything we want. And the cops really can't touch us. Because if they touch us, then we're going to turn on you guys. The folks who created us. The folks who use us whenever y'all need us to come out and act a fool against the right. So now, y'all going to listen to our plea or not? And so it looks like they listened to it by picking the woke dude instead of the guy who might have helped them win Pennsylvania.
There's some disquiet now, and there has to be. How much of what just happened is caving into some of these darker parts in the party? So that's going to have to get worked out. It's going to have to get talked.
He used to be what I'd call a middle-of-the-road Democrat. Now he's a straight-up socialist.
He's talking about the weird woke guy. Used to be this and that. Now he probably was a socialist the whole time. So let's just see how he's doing here. Let's see, Minnesota 2022.
County, Minneapolis here. Walz ran up huge numbers. Biden ran up huge numbers. Now go into greater Minnesota. Let's take a look at Stearns County here. Look, Walz lost this by 23 points. What did Biden lose it by? 23 points. And this is the kind of county, by the way, in Minnesota and across the Midwest here, the Democrats are hoping Walz will help them with. Because look, let's go back in time here. Once upon a time, just a dozen years ago, Democrats weren't winning a county like this, but look, Barack Obama was able to get 43% of the vote here, basically run just over 10 points behind Mitt Romney. Obama was able to do that in a county like Stearns, and he was able to do that in counties like this all over the Midwest, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. You see that fell off the cliff for Democrats with Clinton, with Biden, and there's Walz, his talent.
So the people in his own state don't really like him. It's just a couple key counties helps this guy win. It's kind of like Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. There it is, Pittsburgh. So really, look at all that red in his state. And then you see a little bit of blue that most likely got a concentration of a lot of people that are liberal. This helping this dude.
In this county, right between where Biden and Clinton's was. So the Walz victory in 2022 looks like what is now a standard Democratic victory in Minnesota. Heavy reliance on the Twin Cities metro area and taking big losses in greater Minnesota. The Democrats' hope is that he's going to appeal to these blue collar areas in these other three states. Maybe he will.
I hope he loses his own state. That's what I hope. I hope he loses his own state.
But when you look at what he's done in Minnesota, you don't quite see that. Where, Democrats, if you're thinking he's going to help you with voters you're losing in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan, those areas are similar to greater Minnesota, and you just didn't see in 2022 Walz do anything there that Biden wasn't doing himself.
So they might not want to get their hopes up. I just saw a message pop up before I started my show from Chameleon Kamala on X talking about we just went ahead in the polls. And I'm like, don't you believe it? And even if you have, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. I don't know which poll she was referring to, but nonetheless, that's what she said. But you can never trust a Democrat. So wait a minute, Tom Cotton. The other day I had you pulled up, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. I ran out of time. So would you please tell me what you was thinking about the other day?
But remember, she's only been the nominee for 2 weeks now. She hasn't answered a single question, not one single question by the media. She's only had one single unscripted moment Thursday night at Andrews Air Force Base, welcoming those hostages back. And she served up the kind of incomprehensible word salad for which she's become famous.
What? So she had another opportunity to show that she was competent, and she went to working on that salad. All right, somebody go get me some paprika, and you know what, slice a couple tomatoes. We're about to serve them up a word salad for the ages. I saw that clip. I had no idea what she's talking about. She went round and round that mulberry bush, and my gut tells me if she gets into a debate with Trump and he throws out a couple things that rattle her, it's over. It's over. And her weird woke buddy is going to get destroyed by JD Vance. Yeah, I think they're going to be cruising for a bruising.
When she has to encounter the media, and I'm sure you're going to insist that she does, she's going to have to answer for things like why she wants to eliminate oil and gas production in this country, why she wants to ban gas-powered cars, why she wants to confiscate private firearms. So we knew this race was going to be close all along, whoever the Democrats wanted to put up against President Trump. But Kamala Harris has only been the nominee for 2 weeks and hasn't answered a single question. When the American people get a better look at her and her radical positions, I think you're going to see that they don't want her to continue the Biden-Harris legacy.
They're going to see she's still a turd. All of that polish and shining it up ain't going to cover up the fact that she's still a nasty turd. So yeah, he got a point. That is why she's not answering questions, taking interviews and stuff like that. That's pretty interesting. They did that with Joe Biden. So they're using the Joe Biden technique, the Joe Biden strategy in regards to Kamala Harris, because they're both empty suits. They're both empty vessels. They're both puppets. She probably has no idea what took place through the whole 3.5, 4 years she was running around in the White House. You want me to answer questions about our policies? Well, I mean, what do you want? I never sat in on a meeting. Okay, couple meetings I did sit in on, but I was doodling. I was over there playing words for whatever. And anyway, so now what am I supposed to tell these people when I come out? And what's my policies again? Somebody come up with some ideas to make the people think I'm not as woke and far left as possible. Oh, so you're just going to tell them the opposite of everything I ever said and support it? Okay, thank you. Do that. And then the media will come out and say, she never did that. She never supported that. That's what's happening. Full-blown psyop on the American population used by the media. So wait, Stephen, what do you got to say about her? Is she legit? Is she too legit to quit? Oh.
In these last few weeks, with the corporate leftist media, the Democrat Party, and their surrogates trying to reinvent and rewrite the history of the most liberal senator and the most liberal vice president in American history is so far beyond gaslighting, so far beyond indoctrination, so far beyond just lying. This is an attempt to pull off the greatest hoax in American history. Kamala Harris ideologically is to the left of Bernie Sanders. As border czar, she presided over the admission of 15 to 20 million illegal aliens. Some of those illegal aliens, as you know, Maria, and have covered on your program, have gone on to and murder American women and American children. Grievous, heinous, unimaginable crimes.
Yeah, make it stink, Stephen. Make it stink. Don't sugarcoat that mess. Stick that fork in her. There you go. Go get that machete and go to work. Twist it. Bring it up. There you go. I don't want you softballing how you feel about her and what she's done in this country and what she believes. No, give it to us raw. No OJ, no straw. When you give it to us, give it to us raw. What else, Stephen?
By criminals that she chose to admit into this country.
Shame on her.
The attempt to rewrite her record is surely the most offensive thing any of us have witnessed in the history of modern presidential politics. She is a hardcore, far left liberal, and nothing anyone says can change that. It is the stone cold truth.
Now, as a
Ooh, wait. And I like it like that. I like the stone cold truth. Because it is true. I mean, just a few months ago, the media was saying she was horrible. Worst decision by Joe Biden ever. But now all of a sudden, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And don't forget, the fat, cuddly Santa Claus now that she's brought on to be her VP. So let's see what this lady has to say about Chameleon.
A woman who would love to see a female president one day.
Okay.
I know we can do better than this.
Absolutely.
But here is the vice president earlier today reading a brief statement directly from her binder while taking no questions.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. This is her big opportunity to show that she's in command. She's in command. So she came out, you telling me, and did what Joe Biden does?
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Where you going?
Will you be meeting Evans and Paul when
Excuse
they
me,
return?
Excuse me, where you going? Do you see that lazy behind salute? Probably want to call them white nationalists. Dang, move out the way, you white nationalists. Yeah, you see that lady right there? No more questions. And bounce. I would have followed her. Wait, where you going? In the back of the head. Boop, boop, boop. Excuse me. Boop, 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 boop. I had a question. I'm sorry. You were walking away so fast, and I got a question. Didn't take nothing. Just bounce. Oh, but wait.
Welcome, my fellow Americans.
Yeah, let's see. What did I say there? Let's see what's going on with her. Hold on, let's see.
And Paul when they return?
Look at her. Run, Forrest. But she's not too radical. Yeah.
Welcome,
Look at
my
this.
fellow Americans. First and foremost, I want to thank you for choosing us, believing that America is worthy of your an undocumented person.
What?
And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented.
So this is the position that the Biden administration had? This is how they handled one of the most important things to all these Americans, which is our border. This is how they view all these illegal immigrants. Undocumented. I shouldn't have said that. Even though the man killed an American citizen, shouldn't have been in the country and was stopped like 3 or 4 times. But hey, I gotta respect him. I don't want to call him an illegal immigrant. He's undocumented. And look at Chameleon. She's a part of this too.
You regret using that word.
Yes.
We have a secure border.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
Yeah, there you go. They all deserve to be heard. Look at that.
We have to surge. We have to surge to the border.
And the border is secure. The border is closed, and that's what we're focused on.
Yeah. And where's that border czar? As all of these folks were breaking through our barriers and just running up to the fence. Now, in any other country, they would have opened fire on all of these people. Can you imagine a whole bunch of folks just rushing past the Russian military to run into Russia? Do you think they'd have been like, get back, come on, doctor? You think they'd have been worried about being on the news and being called a white nationalist, a racist, and a Ku Klux Klan member? Or do you think they'd have been like, what should we do, Vladimir? Open fire. Very good. Everyone, open fire. That's what these people are doing. They basically are saying, shoot us. Yeah, we're coming in your country no matter what. But don't forget, Chameleon Harris was the one that got out there talking about something. If you're thinking about coming to our country illegally, don't come. Don't. They listened to her, didn't they? And she's a leader that commands respect. That's the respect they're giving her. Look at that.
We have a secure border. Wrong. To somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal being.
Oh, now see, that's why they don't respect her. She's sending mixed signals. There it is. She's that parent that giggles at their kid cussing at somebody else. You better get out of my face, old lady. What you call it? You ain't nothing but a big old heifer. And that parent is going, you know what, you better watch your mouth. You always saying stuff you shouldn't say. Boy, you so bad. Well, you're saying things with your mouth, telling me I should have watched my mouth, but your whole body language. You're giving me mixed signals. You're encouraging me to continue being disrespectful. So now here she is. She wants those folks to listen to her when she says, don't. But listen to this.
An undocumented immigrant is not a crime. I know what a crime looks like. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Real community.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Y'all hear that? Well, guess who else hears it? All of the undocumented criminals. That's what they are. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. They're getting a subliminal that they're not a criminal. That's what they're getting. She's giving them the subliminal that you're not a criminal. You can come on over here and push past our military, demand to be heard, get in the country and say, I got rights. We don't like this hotel. We don't like the food y'all serving us. We want a card so we can get our own food. And when are we getting our work permits? And by the way, can I get a license? Oh, and I want that phone too. I want a cell phone. Yeah, we got the right to come over here because we got politicians like this woke chick that's saying, hey, you guys aren't undocumented. You're not legal immigrants. You're undocumented. That's it. Undocumented citizens. So who you think they're going to listen to? Yeah, you think they're going to sit back knowing that they've been given the green light to come on past, knowing that if any one of them Border Patrol agents or those military folks lay one finger on one of these folks, they will be court-martialed. They would be paraded through the streets as white nationalists, white supremacists, Gestapo. They would be ran through the ringer. So all there is for show. All of that, all they could do is just say, get back. Outside of that, what you gonna do? Huh? When you got mucus, you got our borders are, and you got Joe Biden all appeasing these people. I would have been furious if they put me down there on that border and these folks push right past me. It's disrespectful and it sends a message to everybody, not just the illegal immigrants, that America is soft. So why not send us a couple terrorists? The border's open. If we ever wanted to infiltrate the United States, let's do it while the borders is over the border. Send a couple terrorists and a couple communists and a couple Chinese nationalists. Who cares? Yeah, send them all. And people are considering voting for this fraud.
It's not a criminal. When we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas.
Shut your mouth. All of that fake emotion. We all sing Merry. Yeah, she wants us to be empathetic to the illegal immigrant children, y'all. So therefore, we have to feel guilty about saying Merry Christmas, y'all. We got to feel guilty about it.
These children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Look at that. They're so fake. She doesn't mean a word. She cares nothing about these children. And people believe these idiots. If you cared about the children, you would discourage those mothers and fathers or whomever from bringing those kids into the country. And here she is. Look at that. All fake.
How dare we?
How dare we? So we're going to go ahead and close with this. We're coming back to Ohio, y'all. We got us a race up here. Bernie Moreno, I think, against Sherrod Brown or whatever his name is. And let's see, because remember, guys, Chameleon is not woke. And she's trying to reach out to these red states, the Rust Belt, to hardworking Americans. But we got folks in these states right here that are in tight races. And I'm wondering if they're going to get behind Chameleon and all of her policies. I wonder if they're going to own her. Because, see, remember, they want us to believe that this woman is not woke. She's not far left. So I'm sure that this guy right here, as they interview him about, are you going to support Chameleon, is going to say, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to meet her wherever she's at, and I'm going to support her and all of that stuff.
Democrats are facing an uphill battle to keep control of the United States Senate, with multiple sitting senators at risk of losing their seats in red and purple states. What? The big question, has Kamala Harris at the top of the tickets made things easier or harder?
Good question.
I went to Ohio this week to dig into one of the nation's marquee races between Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown and his GOP opponent, Bernie Moreno. As Democrats rally behind Kamala Harris, in red states, it's more complicated.
Cleveland.
Like in Ohio, where Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown faces a stiff challenge from Trump-backed Republican Bernie Moreno.
And he's going to get his butt dusted. Sherrod Brown knows he's in trouble. He messed around and then ran for the Senate again in a red state. Yeah. And guess who they got at the top of the ticket? A ultra liberal California leftist. And then she goes and picks a more lefter person than her. So let's see if he owns Chameleon.
A race central to the fight for the Senate majority. Are you able to defend Kamala Harris's record?
My job is to fight for Ohio workers. You can talk.
My job is to ignore the question because I don't want to be associated with Chameleon Harris.
The presidential race, that's your job. My job.
But it'll have an impact on this race.
Well, that's your opinion. I know that what will matter is people vote for me because I stand up for workers and will continue to fight for workers.
That's not what he asked you. Are you going to support Chameleon?
Ohio has become a GOP stronghold, with Trump carrying the state in 2020 by 8 points and a heavy favorite this fall. Plus, Brown is trying to defy this daunting trend. In 68 of the 69 Senate races in 2016 and 2020, voters elected a senator from the same party as their preferred presidential candidate.
Except for Atlanta. Isn't that crazy? I mean, how did the governor win? But Herschel Walker didn't. I don't understand how those things happen. Usually people vote right down the ballot, especially us. But now, let's see how he's going to negotiate this without throwing Chameleon completely under the bus.
You backed much of the Harris-Biden agenda, so how hard is that going to be?
Oh, well, you hear that? Thanks for letting us know that, CNN man. You backed most of the Harris-Biden agenda. So now you're going to try to act like, no, I just look out for the people. I don't know what's her name again? Oh, shoot. Now, wait, the president was who you know, I'm kind of like a MAGA folks voter too. I'm like in the middle, you know. I don't look at party. I look at the people. Yeah, you see him trying to negotiate this and juggle this so that he can get back in.
To run that far ahead of the top of the ticket.
As you know, and as I've said, I'm not a pundit, I'm not a commentator.
I'm not a pundit.
I don't think of politics as left or right. I think.
Shut up, you big fat liar. He's trying to earn our respect and our vote, trying to make us think that, I'm down with the people. I don't get all caught up in all of that stuff. Hey, look, man, it don't matter if I'm a Democrat or Republican. Really, I'm kind of like an independent, frankly. You know, I'm a round the way guy. Y'all know me, man. Y'all know me. Y'all know me, man. I'm Sherrod Brown, baby. Don't vote me out. Don't vote me out, man. I know y'all thinking about it, ain't it? Yeah, we are. We're thinking about it because we know right now you're trying to straddle that fence.
Think of it as whose side you're on. Yeah. And Ohioans know I've been on their side.
Well, you can.
No, we don't. No, we don't. There is no we're on your side if you are voting with the Democrats, period. If you are a Democrat, you're not on our side. Yeah, you cannot balance that out. If you are really trying to look out for the people, you cannot be around a whole bunch of Republicans in your district and still voting with the Democrats and want them to respect you. The Democrat Party is the evilest, most compromised, globalist, demonic-filled party in America, or on the earth, perhaps. Who knows? So if you was really about it, you would just come out from amongst them. There it is. You'd come out from amongst them and declare your loyalty to the party that respects our Constitution and looks out for the people, excluding the rhinos. Yeah. But this guy right here, he don't want to do that. So he's downplaying his Democrat roots. He's downplaying it.
And with Kamala Harris, if she comes here,
I have not. I mean, I did not. I've got my own schedule. She's got her own schedule.
Look at him, y'all. My boy, I don't. I got my own schedule. I'm busy. Whatever. Oh, well, you don't even know when she's coming. Well, whenever she come out, I'm busy because I got something to do that day. Why are you running from Chameleon? Why aren't you owning her? Why aren't you saying I'm gonna be right there on stage with her holding her arms up? Because you know you're gonna get your butt voted out. That's why.
I will focus on my race. My strategy is perhaps different from hers. Talking about the differences on abortion rights and on minimum wage between Bernie Moreno and me and how I fight.
Right there, leftist policies anyway. We don't care nothing about no abortion rights. We already got this mess settled. Let the people decide. And you're talking about and also, minimum wage and all that stuff. Well, you're going to go ahead and tank the economy and put businesses out, put people out of business because you want to raise the minimum wage amount. Okay, well, that's cool and all, but that Big Mac is now $8, and that French fries $12. There you go. That's what you want to do. So his strategy, he's saying, is different than hers. See, the thing is, you wouldn't be a Democrat if you weren't complicit, if you weren't obedient, man. Okay? They probably gave you the right to go ahead and pretend that you ain't connected with the Democrats that much and with Kamala because they're going, dude, we're going to try to help you stay in power. We need your seat. So we're going to act like we don't hear what you're saying. We're going to allow you to distance because we really know, we as Democrats know that Kamala is too far left. We know this chick is radical. Yeah, man, that's why we installed her. We know that, okay? But we're trying to trick the people in Ohio to think that you're not down with all of that stuff. You ain't down with that stuff. But he's getting exposed by the fact that he's trying to disown her.
Every day for the dignity of work.
With Joe Manchin retiring in West Virginia, Democrats likely have to run the table to keep the Senate at 50-50, hoping to hang on to 2 of their 3 seats in red states and all 6 of their competitive seats. In Ohio, Democrats have poured in nearly $50 million on TV ads since March.
Well. So let's end with the Trump truth. So we see what he's about. Basically, by him doing that, lets us know that she's radical. That's what it is. By him trying to distance himself from her, lets us know that she's far left. So far left that nobody in Ohio is trying to support her. And by default, they're not going to support him. There you go. So let's go ahead and end with Trump.
Remember the words they use? They are a threat to democracy. They've been saying that about me for 7 years. I think I got shot because of that, okay? People said, he's a threat to democracy. No, I'm the one that is saving democracy.
Darn right. Oh, well, look at this.
They're a threat.
And that's in Atlanta, I think. All those black folks cheering. Listen to how loud and how long.
Thank you.
Wow, he was shocked.
Wow. Ruined.
Well, look at that. See? So come to find out, people really do recognize the real threat to democracy, not the fake one the Democrats are trying to project onto Trump, but people like Poodle up top, Rat Skin, who's out here talking about they ain't gonna certify the election. Yeah, those type of people.
Ruined San Francisco, ruined California. As California Attorney General, she defined and redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of a unconscious person, as nonviolent. These were nonviolent crimes.
So that's how radical she was? Now, how's she going to defend this in the debate? So she changed the rules that if you violate an unconscious person, you're good. You're good. Interesting. But she supports women.
We shouldn't even prosecute these people to help spring child predators and dangerous criminals out of prison all over the state. And during the left-wing riots of 2020, you saw that she urged her followers to donate to bail rapists and murderers out of jail while saying that the violent mobs should not stop. They should not stop. She said she was endorsing to fund the police. And she said, violent mobs, let the violent mobs keep going. Let them keep going. We love what they're doing. We love what they represent. This is the lunatic that the fake news is trying to build up to be the next Margaret Thatcher.
Woo, the Trump truth. Tell it like it is. JD Vance just told her like it is. Trump's telling her like it is, and it's uncut. I want him to make it stink too. Dig all in her. Stephen Miller told it like it is. Yeah, and the fake news ain't. Yeah, they're telling it like they want you to think it is. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the type of smoke Trump needs to bring to her in this debate. If they get together, he needs to bring up all of that foul stuff. Yeah, and you know what else I was thinking about? He could go in somewhat civil and say, look, if we want to focus on policies, we can do that. We can go back and forth on that. But let me tell you something, you nasty witch, you. If you go off script and try to get dirty into the muck and the mire, you're going to force me to bring up some issues. Because, see, my gut tells me that she's going to try to attack Trump's character. You know, hopefully she don't start talking about Stormy Daniels and Eugene Carroll and you're a criminal. Because then Trump got to get dirty. He going to have to give her the Tulsi Gabbard treatment. Yeah, I guess you can sniff out a crime. You're a great prosecutor, just like you prosecuted all those black men. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard ruined your campaign by bringing that up. Oh, you're talking about my indiscretions in the past and stuff when it comes down to my wife. What about Willie Brown? Now, you made me bring up Willie Brown. It's free game. If she gets out there and start getting down in the dirt, I know they're going to be mad if he brings up Willie Brown. But she better tiptoe her butt around, bringing up anything that's going to try to attack his character, his morality. She ain't got no morality. He could bring up Willie Brown, and then he could even go a little deeper if he wants, because the word on the street is her white husband. There it is. I have to say that because she's so pro-black and stuff like that. So her white husband had relations with the nanny and left a bun in her oven. Huh. Now see, he don't want to talk about that. He would probably prefer to focus on the real stuff. But Democrats can't focus on them policies. So I know she's probably going to get dirty. And if she does, Trump should be like, okay, I didn't want to go here, but you're trying to make me seem like I got an issue, you know, when it comes down to my moral compass. What about you? There it is. He needs to be prepared to drop out all that dirt that folks are going to be like, I can't believe that he brought this is up. But they would be okay with her slinging all kind of dirt on Trump, whether it's true or false. They would be okay with that. They would call her brave. There it is. But if Trump, if he's pushed, hey, I would start off by saying, look, you know what? You're a lady, but you're also running to be the president. Okay. So we're not looking at men versus women. We're looking at two candidates that should be tough enough to dish it and take it. So therefore, I don't want to hear no crap about he shouldn't have brought that up. He's belittling her as a woman. Toughen up and take the heat if you're going to dish it. That's what he needs to do. Don't let her get up there and let him be a punching bag in regards to morality. Trying to focus on that crap. Make sure he lets her know, I would prefer to focus on policies. But if you get down in the dirt, you're going to force me to release your dirt. She needs to know that because she got a lot of dirt. So she better not come in there trying to pull that crap that Biden pulled. What about when your wife was pregnant and you was out in Stormy Daniels and stuff? And Trump withheld with Biden. He could have brought up that diary. I mean, I might have did that. Oh, really? What about that diary of your daughters where you were taking showers with her? That would have blew Biden's mind if he would have brought that up. But it's just me. I'm cynical like that. Trump did the right thing in that case because Biden was damaged and he just ruined himself. But with her, she might deserve to get a black eye if she starts to get down in the dirt. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Share my videos. Follow me on all the other social media platforms. If you want to check out Kevin's... somebody just asked about where to send money to. Thank you so much. Let's see. Kelly, if you would be so kind, right after, my email is listed right below this video. I'll check my email in a few minutes and see if you've, emailed me, and then I'll email you the address that you could send anything you want to send to me. And just put in the email Kevin's Corner, just title it Kevin's Corner, and I'll know. All right. And I'll give you the location, the address. Okay. Now, besides that, thank you all for kicking it with me tonight. Don't forget to share my videos, like my videos. If you want to support the channel, check out Kevin's Corner store. And you can also just support the channel through my Cash App or my PayPal and go from there. Okay. Oh, yeah, Kelly, I'm assuming you were talking about sending something directly to me, but just in case you're not, I do have a PayPal and I do have a Cash App that's right below every video. The link is there if you actually use those apps as well. All right, so God bless y'all. We'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Let's get out of here. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'll be back. Okay, same time, same place. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Somebody said they emailed me 3 times. Oh, no. Well, wait a minute, Susan. You know what the problem is? I get bombarded with emails. I got to know which ones. I'll tell you what, Susan. If I overlook those emails, I apologize. Could you do me a favor? Could you email me input Kevin's Corner? This way I'll know what I'm looking for. Other than that, I just see a whole bunch of emails and sometimes, they get pushed all the way up. So just put it in the subject matter, Kevin's Corner. Then I'll know that it's from somebody who watches the live stream and it's not just, random emails that just get sent to me. So I do apologize, and definitely I try to respond to everybody that I know I have a connection with through my live stream. All right, now back to my closing. Yeah, I know you see the way, Tara. Yeah. See y'all next time, Kevin's Corner. Take care. God bless.